Hello, my name is Leo. Welcome to a new day of the Elder Scrolls Arena. It is the fourth of first seed, except it's not. Well, it is. It is the fourth first seed in the game. I know it says fifth because we took too long to get to Riverhold. Yada yada yada. The Empress hand is lightly laying on my shoulders, which is really creepy. Actually, what time is it? 9 in the morning. Yeah, it's a good time. Play that weird save name. That was when I was all freaked out yesterday about that weird altar that I found. Yeah, that wasn't yesterday, that was Sunday, you idiot. Dumbass. Um, so what episode are we up to? 214-1. Alright, well, I'm pretty heavily damaged. I'm in a critical condition. I'm filled up with stuff and things aren't looking too good for me, but yeah, how are you? So tomorrow we'll actually get some stuff done and go visit, the Lord, give the daughter back, which I did remember to ravenge last night. So I guess I've got another night to ravenge her. Sweet! And maybe get some heals. Well, if I've got time. Sell some shit, do a little bit of shopping, and then move on to the next town. Yeah, fun stuff. In the meantime, though, there's a couple of things that I can talk about. First thing is I bought some stuff. I bought some things today. And I'm being very vague. I might do a thing with them, which is why I'm being so vague. Because if I don't end up doing the thing that I want to do a thing with the thing that I bought today, then it would be really silly of me to say what I bought today. And say that they were the thing, because then So I bought some things. Things that you can't get in Australia. Things that are actually illegal in Australia, but are perfectly fine in Japan. There's actually quite a lot of them that they get. They're somewhat expensive, but very, very cool. I haven't actually opened it yet. It's still in the box. So, I'll have to play with that later. I gotta be careful though. It's not really the kind of item that you want the parents-in-law to see. If they were to see me like manhandling it, they might think I was a bit creepy, maybe a bit scary. So we probably shouldn't do that. What else happened? Oh, I dropped like a bottle of like paint thinner, like in the office. The office has got like these like hardwood floors, and I dropped like a bottle of paint thinner. It just splashed everywhere because it didn't. It's like it's just an old crappy lid, like an old crappy tin that doesn't have a lid. It just sort of sits there. So the moment it went upside down, the thinner went everywhere, and now it stinks up the place really bad. But anyway, there's something else that I do want to talk about, and it's something that I was talking about yesterday with the Wreck-It Ralph. One thing that I forgot to mention that I did want to mention, and that's a really interesting thing that I can do here in Japan when I'm renting DVDs and such. Is, now I've said this a million times, I'm just going to quickly say it again. When you go to the cinema in Japan, if it's a Hollywood movie, generally speaking, it is English audio with Japanese subtitles, right? Now, when it actually comes out on DVD, it's a whole different story. Generally speaking, the DVD has English and Japanese audio tracks, as well as English and Japanese subtitles, which is handy. Except actually on DVDs, I think DVDs don't have English subtitles. I don't quite get that. I think it might have something to do with the fact, it might be just one thing that Blu-rays have more data, but it's also probably a fact that when I put the Blu-ray that I'm using, Blu-ray player, is my PlayStation 3, which is an Australian PlayStation 3. Therefore, like when I rented Iron Man 3, all the menus and everything were in English. Now, when I rented Sugar Rush, aka Wreck-It Ralph, all the menus were in Japanese. So I'm not quite sure how it works there, but at least with Iron Man, it basically, everything was in English, right? The entire thing was in English. It just happened to also include Japanese audio tracks and Japanese subtitle tracks. Now, one really cool thing about all this with the Japanese audio tracks and the Japanese subtitle tracks, generally when we rent a movie, we watch it with the English audio and Japanese subtitle for the waifu, right? So she can read it. So yeah, so basically I watch, with the English audio so I can understand what the hell's going on, and she gets the Japanese audio so she can. That being said, she can watch movies she can watch it. Well, she can understand most of a movie if it is English audio with no subtitles. If it's got English subtitles, she can almost certainly understand everything. But just for her benefit, we chuck on the Japanese subtitles so she can fully understand absolutely everything. Now, what movies have we rented so far? Specifically Blu-rays, although DVDs are the same. Iron Man 3, that new Oz movie, the wonderful Oz the Magnificent, or whatever it was called. Sugar Rush, aka Wreck-It Ralph. I think that's it for Blu-rays. I did get Pacific Rim. No, Pacific Rim. Yeah, I got that on Blu-ray as well. Now, in all these movies, after I've watched it a couple of times with the English audio, I've gone ahead. I should put my sword away. Yeah. I've gone ahead and watched the movie a third time with the Japanese voice. Now, listening to Tony Stark, the Japanese equivalent, apparently, of Robert Downey Jr., doing all of Tony Stark's little quips and jokes, is hilarious. It's so funny. Oh god, it's something you can't do in Australia, because generally DVDs in Australia, Blu-rays in Australia, you get your English audio, you get your English subtitles, and if you're lucky, you might get a German, French, a European set of subtitles, but it's usually only a couple or three. I don't know how it is in America. I would assume that, I'm sure Canada would have French stuff, but I would assume that maybe America might have maybe Spanish. Perhaps they might also have, what else might they have? I don't know, Italian? I don't know, I'm just shooting from the hip here. But anyway, what time is it? I think I've talked enough. Alright, let's save the game. So yeah, it's really funny, watching movies, American movies, with an English dub. Vice versa, it's also really fun watching, no, sorry, totally fucked that up. I meant to say, watching American movies with a Japanese dub. Yeah, it's just a funny concept. But anyway, when we come back, we'll be in this town. It'll be the 5th of first seed, and we'll go about getting our stuff done. But for now, my name is Leo, and I will see you next time.